and welcome to Always Intense, where we dive into the heart-pounding moments offshore. This is a place where the ocean is both breathtakingly beautiful and terrifyingly fierce. Have you ever stood at the edge of the sea? Just one glance at the white-capped waves crashing ashore is enough to understand why we're both drawn to and afraid of the ocean. The sea is vast and beautiful on the surface, but beneath its shimmering exterior lies an immeasurable power, a force that constantly tests our limits. Out there, a small, brave fleet of ships cuts through the wave. The roar of their engines blends with the crashing of the sea, the vessels lurching as if about to capsize. With every collision against a colossal wall of water, the crew holds their breath. And you know, a single moment of carelessness, a slow turn of the wheel, a rope slipping from a hand is all it takes for the entire boat to be swallowed by the depths, disappearing in an instant. In these life or death moments, people aren't just battling the storm, they're confronting their deepest fears. Put yourself in their shoes. Would you have the courage to grip the helm and steer through a raging squall? Or would you tremble and surrender to the ocean's fury? The ocean is not forgiving. It poses a harsh challenge, and only the strongest, most courageous hearts can answer its call. You know, many people see the sea as a test of courage, but there's one thing no one can forget. The ocean has no tolerance for recklessness. Look at those speedboats zipping across the water. The speed, the wind whistling in your ears, the feeling of soaring, it's captivating, isn't it? But at hundreds of kilometers per hour, a tiny wave can become a steel wall. A half-second delay in turning the wheel is enough to turn joy into tragedy. It's like in life, there are times we want to push our limits, But have you ever asked yourself if that recklessness is worth risking your life at sea? One small mistake can shatter a boat, leaving people helpless in the deep water. And in that moment, the ocean reminds us that freedom always comes with responsibility. True courage isn't about charging headfirst into danger. It's about knowing when to stop and when to respect your own limits. The ocean teaches this lesson at a very high price sometimes, with a life. Have you ever witnessed the moment a ship is launched? It's not just a technical event, it's a birth ceremony for a giant of the sea. For months, even years, the ship lies dormant in the shipyard, a massive, unmoving steel structure. Then, on a fateful day, hundreds of workers, engineers, and onlookers gather. Everyone watches the final steps. The ropes are untied, the wooden chocks are removed. A grating, metallic shriek echoes, the harsh sound cutting through the tense air. The multi-ton hull begins to slide down the giant slipway. With every foot it moves, the hearts of the spectators beat faster, as if they are with the ship, racing toward its destiny. And then, whoosh! The splash shakes the entire river. White foam explodes into the air, the sound reverberating back to the shore. People cheer and applaud as the hull tilts slightly, sways for a moment, then stabilizes, floating serenely on the water surface. That moment is both majestic and emotional. A new ship has been born. It's not just storms at sea that pose a threat. Even on land, nature knows how to show its power. Imagine you're walking on the beach, watching the sunset, when suddenly a massive waterspout forms in the distance. In an instant, the brilliant red sky is swallowed by a grey vortex. Everything shakes, sand flies everywhere, and all you can do is find shelter. In that moment, you'll understand a truth. No matter how intelligent we are, we can never control nature. We can only listen, respect, and adapt. And sometimes, survival depends on knowing when to take a step back. What would you do if you were facing that storm? Would you grab your phone to record a video or immediately run to find a safe place? Amidst this fierce landscape, there are still man-made structures that amaze us oil rigs standing tall in the middle of the sea. They look like floating cities, bravely withstanding huge waves and strong winds. Have you ever wondered how we can drill thousands of meters deep into the seabed to extract those glistening drops of oil? The process is so complex that a single mistake can lead to an immeasurable environmental disaster. Drilling mud is pumped down to keep the drill bit stable, and giant pipes bring the oil to the surface. Everything must work together with clockwork precision. And you see, just one small crack is enough to turn the entire ocean black with an oil slick. Standing before that scene, I want to ask you, should we continue to depend on this high-risk energy source? Or is it time to find a more sustainable path, so the ocean no longer has to pay the price for our development? After all, these clips of massive waves, storms, and ships struggling at sea aren't just dramatic scenes. They are a reminder that the ocean is beautiful, fierce, a teacher, and a challenger. Humans are small, but we are also resilient. It is in these seemingly desperate moments that we find the light of perseverance and teamwork. Sailors tying ropes around themselves, shouting commands into the wind, working together to keep the ship from sinking, that is true strength. The ocean inspires us to conquer, but it also teaches us humility. It gives us moments of peace, but it also warns us with storms. And perhaps it is this very contrast that makes the journey to the sea always so fascinating and mysterious. Thank you for joining us on Always Intense. If you found this video compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And what about you? Of all the situations we saw today, which moment gave you the biggest chill? Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you on the next journey.